pardon. Let's try it. That could very well be a huge mistake.
The year 1267. War hung in the air, its scent palpable. The mighty empire of Nilfgaard stood poised, greedily eyeing the northern realms just across the Yaruga. In light of the threat, the realm sovereigns met in summit. They made declarations, pledged fraternal assistance, forged alliances, and then, in good spirits, dispersed. Among them, Meve, queen of the twin realms Lyria and Rivia. Know the name? Heard her beauty extolled? Justly so. Remarkable she was. Not for her graceful exterior, but for her persistence and courage. Where was I? As the queen and her retinue neared her capital, Count Caldwell appeared. In Meve's absence, the Count was to have helped her son, the youthful Prince Willem, run the Twin Kingdoms. Caldwell had clearly ridden hard. Drops of perspiration dangled from his whiskers, his neck red and chafed from a ruff, starched stiff.
Hail, Your Majesty!
Hail.
Delighted to see you in good health. The summit, it ended fruitfully, I hope?
Yes, at its end, letters were exchanged, documents signed. Paper. Time will tell of what value.
This is a fun art style.
That will suffice as cordialities go, Caldwell. Tell me what's happened, for I sincerely doubt sheer longing prompted you to ride out.
Indeed, Your Grace. Another circumstance inspired me to do so. The strays of Sparla, the bandits, I was to tend to during Your Grace's absence. The situation's gotten out of hand, I fear.
Steady, Caldwell. Come now. Deep breath. All right. Speak. What has happened? Be precise.
As Your Grace ordained, I set out and was nipping at the bandits' tails for long. We pursued for weeks, until scouts returned, having sighted the strays' camp in the forest near Locheren. We waited for nightfall, to surprise them as they slept. Alas, it proved a ruse. We found the tents empty, straw-stuffed dummies around the fire. Soon, we learned that as we waited for the sunset, the strays had snuck away, rounded our positions and ridden to Hawksburn.
I beg your pardon, my lord. The tax collectors. That is where they station.
So the gold? All of it?
It's stolen, Your Grace, but I shall do all in my power to recover it. This I vow, if it be Your Grace's wish.
After weeks in the saddle, your Grace's wishes are modest. A hot bath and a night's sleep in her own bed. Yet, they shall have to wait. I must look personally to this matter. Your force, Caldwell, I will now command. You... send a herald to Hawksburn. They must prepare for the Queen's arrival. Air the rooms, dust off the porcelain. Make certain they do it.
Okay.
Do you see now, Reynard? I believe I foretold it would be thus. My son wasn't ready in the least to rule an entire country.
I confess, Prince Willem has much to learn yet.
Reynard, where are you?
Yes. And very little time.
Welcome to the Thronebreaker tutorial. Before embarking your adventure, you should get acquainted with some basic game mechanics. You can control your character using the left mouse button. Follow the cobblestone road to reach the next stage of your journey. You will expand your army throughout the game, but to do so, you must collect the following types of resources: gold, wood, and recruits. So that my tally of those is behind my face. While on the road, you can find useful items and even new companions who will support you in battle. If you don't want to miss anything, be sure to thoroughly explore the map and complete side quests. I did see something I could like.
Thought it were bandits riding
click
in.
on. See, I got some wood just there. What's that? Oh wait. Oh, no, go away. Meve. Meve. The wood. The wood. The wood. Can I... Oh, there we go. I had to be closer. Okay. So what is the deal with that? Oh, I got recruits. Can I...
Bianca, they stretched her over a fire till she told them where she buried her gold.
Oh, God.
Rather die than tell him she would. But I know where she kept it. Sit tight. Sketch it out for you.
Okay, congratulations. You found a treasure map. Search the area and you may just find the secret location marked on the map with an X. So there's like a shed or a house or something with a tree stump next to it.
The strays, they're called, Your Majesty, because they bite something nasty and bay as if by the moon possessed.
Creepy. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's anything in this part. We got some wood and some gold though, so that's good. Can I take berries? No. Most interactive objects are marked clearly on your map, but not all. Some events cannot be predicted, so you best be prepared for anything.
Count Caldwell rode at the column's head, scanning its flanks with a wary eye that, despite his advanced age, proved very sharp indeed.
Your Majesty! Bandits! There! At the tree line!
The Count's footmen, unaccustomed to escorting their queen, sought to shield her with their bodies and assumed a tight formation to do so. They were promptly knocked aside as Meve charged headlong at the bandits, brandishing her blade and bellowing a ferocious cry.
Attack! Charge!
I guess we're battling. Meve was convinced the bandits would flee to the cover of the forest upon realizing their grave mistake. After all, no ordinary bandit would dare attack the retinue of the queen. Yet the strays of Spala were of a different breed. They held nothing sacred. So, unique cards will appear in this battle, and it is a key battle in Meve's story. I guess we're starting the battle, because, like... I don't know. This is the battlefield. You will play your cards on the bottom half, and your opponent will play on the top. Okay, so this is icy. This is like the Gwent board. Units can be played on 1 of 2 rows, melee or ranged. So there's no siege. The abilities of some cards may be different depending on the row you play. A standard battle can last up to 3 rounds. The first 2 rounds, just like Gwent. Players alternate their turns. You can only play 1 card per turn. You can use any number of abilities. Okay. The player who goes first in a match is the same who initiated the battle. In this case, you ambush your opponent. Fair
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
To attack the Queen? An outrage!
The strength of each unit you play adds to your army's total strength. The player whose army has the most strength points at the end of the round. Okay, just like Gwent. Some units have armor. Armor absorbs a certain amount of damage dealt to units.
Your Grace, the men await.
So
You must
there's
lead to begin the attack.
Let's look at what we got. We have, most cards have an ability of some kind. To learn more about it, select the card's description. Additional information will appear. Great. Okay. So we have, play a copy of each adjacent unit. Your deck. Preview. We have damage an enemy by the number of cards on this row, including self. Boost self by 5. Are you ranged?
eh?
Salt of the earth, they are, your grace. They'd follow you into fire. You need simply say the word.
Scythemen have the loyal ability. This means that their other abilities are activated every time you use Meve's ability. Okay, each leader has its own unique ability. To learn what it is, just select the leader. Meve's ability allows her to boost a unit's strength and add armor to it. She can use this ability once every turn. To use Meve's ability, first select her. Select one of your units.
I shall teach you to respect the crown, you dogs!
So we should maybe move one unit to their opposite. Just, deploy a copy of each adjacent unit. I don't know what that means. Damage an enemy by the number of cards on this row. So damage an enemy by 1 is what you're saying. Let's put him there.
If you... The strays took tail and run!
That ability.
Look out! Seek cover! We are bombarded!
Your opponent's cards also have abilities. Be sure to read their descriptions carefully and Hey Andy, how's it going? Do that.
One boat's all I
Yes! Our victory is assured! Sound the horns! May they sing praises of this triumph for ages!
Is our victory assured though? Let's see. When you played all your cards, the end turn button will turn into a pass button. When you pass, you will not be able to perform any action until the start of the turn. To end the last turn, press the button. The player whose army has the most strength points at the end of the round will win the round. In the event of a tie, both players receive.
The battle's not yet done. It is better to conserve our strength.
You moved
Prepare for a
cards.
strike
Tomorrow's
that will
the
prove
big day.
decisive.
You ready? Player draws 3 cards.
Battle formation! Protect the queen!
Player who won will play first. Sent.
should have listened to me old lady.
Busy day tomorrow, so not staying. Yeah, absolutely, definitely a big day tomorrow. You want to make sure you get as much rest as possible.
Give me a time.
Make his armor out. Can I use her? No, the cooldown. Is that the cooldown? I think that's the cooldown. Yeah. Alright.
Ever have a storm knock out one of your
Won
team?
2 rounds in a row, which means you're the battle's victor. Congratulations.
I congratulate you on your latest victory, Your Grace. The bandits stood not a chance.
Okay. Fine enough as the tutorial battle. I'm still a little fuzzy on some of these details, but I think we'll be able to finesse it, I think.
Matters seem indeed to have gotten out of hand, to put it mildly.
Meve said, arms crossed atop her shining breastplate.
They've grown bold. Doubtless after the raid on the manor, the tax collectors.
So
I've
what
not
do I
heard of
get
an ambush
for-
on the high road
do I
afore.
get
Caldwell
anything
explained,
for
avoiding his liege's wrathful gaze.
Enough, Caldwell. We must put things right. Come!
The Queen's retinue set out, cavalry in front, infantry and arbalists close behind, and, following in the rear, the bandits, bound in chains.
Alright, let's, got some wood and some money. More wood and money. I guess we just keep going on our plan.
I do adore this prospect.
Yes. Lyria, the pearl of the north. With its hills and dales. Why, its beauty matched only by that of its queen.
After 3 weeks in the saddle, I've my doubts, Count. We shall pitch camp here. Our soldiers need respite. A spell of it they deserve.
We are in Hawksburg. Officially.
Milady, the masks they wear. Have you seen them? They've fangs, snouts, horns. Like a right proper nightmare.
That sounds terrifying, sir. One of those command things. Definitely do that for the recruits. Okay, looks like there's maybe a side quest here. Or,
Soon,
that might be my
Queen and
quest.
retinue arrived at Hawksburn. The men stationed there they found standing at attention, baking under the blistering noonday sun.
Alright. Okay. Blistering noonday.
Your Majesty, Count Caldwell.
Stand at ease, Sergeant, and report.
The local peasants we've rounded up in the yard, Your Grace. Expect they might have lent the bandits aid. Yet our courtesy hadn't inspired them. They haven't peeped a word. Might it please Your Grace to summon the hangman? He ties a noose for them, should have them jabbering right quick.
I'll speak to them first.
Your Majesty, for the Queen to question commoners, why, it's simply not proper.
Whom for? I shan't be stripped of crown and titles for it, so no impediment do I see. Lead me to them.
Bow low for your sovereign, Her Majesty, Queen Meve of Lyria and Rivia.
Ha' mercy, Your Grace. We bear no guilt, we simple folk.
Calm your hearts, good folk. Though your queen I may be,
Nice.
you are subjects, not slaves.
Meve extended a hand, the royal ring gleaming upon it. Unfamiliar with protocol, a pleb gripped it firmly and gave it a shake as hearty as a good scrub in the tub.
Amazing.
My, we shall be addressing one another by name afore long.
Have like itchy spot on my leg. Sorry, it's really distracting.
This is an outrage! Guards! Grab him!
I've all in hand, Caldwell.
Forgive me, Your Grace.
Caldwell is
I'm not
just,
accustomed,
like,
no how.
worried all the time. Very, very, very
Nonsense.
worried all
You've a firm grip, a spry handshake, and a bold spirit I can respect. What do they call you, man?
Helmer,
the time. Helmer.
son of Florence.
Right,
Delighted, Helmer. Now understand me, man. I am in dire straits and in need of your aid. So please, answer my queries in full and forthrightly. The bandits. Whom do they follow?
Him, milady. We seen him. No name, just an odd title. The Duke of Dogs, they call it.
Duke of Dogs.
My, a blue-blood thoroughbred mutt. Where are he and his hounds bound? Did he say?
That recall, Imogen? What do you name? A Gleeton or something?
Clayton. Lord Clayton.
Clayton.
His estate lies to the south.
We got a Tarzan crossover in here?
Sound the horns. Have the men form up. We march at once.
Milady, I'll be no higher for the Duke. He's a good man. Gave us proper brass for the welcome we gave him. Shared what grub he had.
Shut it, louts. The Queen's had her say. Your Grace, your orders. What are we to do with them?
The choices you make will have consequences. Some may be felt immediately, while others may take time to Leave them be.
Leave them be. The harvest draws close.
I don't need
Hard
anything
work.
to do with these people.
They'll have their hands full.
Oh, milady, thanks be to you, thanks be. I pray Mother Melitele watch over your kind heart.
Pray she watches over yours.
Thanks.
Should I hear of you
Why do we
sheltering
have bad
bandits
morale
again,
over
of you
this?
lying to my officers,
Oh.
I shall return and put torch to every hut,
Right,
field, and
they were
orchard.
sheltering bandits.
Understood.
Meve set off toward Lord Clayton's estate at a gallop, her mount knocking the peasants aside as it kicked up a cloud of dust. The folk of Hawksburn spoke of the royal visit long after, albeit ever behind closed doors and in hushed tones.
Okay. So, my army didn't necessarily like that choice. Do I care? Not really. Notice boards are a great source of information about what's happening in the area. Clicking on them will cause markers to appear on your markers. Okay, let's go. So we've got... Okay, we found everything here, which is great. There's some loot down here. Puzzle. Point of interest. Puzzle. I have to go all the way down there. Okay. Okay.
What is this, Reynard?
How the hell? Oh. Look. Okay. Report. Your Grace, 2 of your subjects humbly request aid. Yarplek and Wilmer, they call themselves. Seems a wagon's axle snapped and they've need to hurry to the market. What are your orders? Summon the camp overseers, have them see what can be done. A few pieces of gold should suffice. We ride on, we have to... how about a morale boost? Okay, now we're at least, neutral, so I'll take it. So we got our loot. Can I save manually? No. Now it's saving. Okay, puzzle time. This sacred cemetery had once been an oasis of peace, a place of prayer, reflection, and meditation. Alas, necrophages now scuttle among exhumed graves, and human bones litter its grounds. The priestesses believed the beast's sudden appearance heralded some imminent form, but fade away to the grave. Beacon each enemy to one. Means I have to knock 7? Hello? It's not this way.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf I am.
And then I did...
Arbalist to your command.
Remember how it went down. My decoy.
Armor won't say.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
End the turn. Get rid of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
A lesson in humility coming now.
There it is. Okay. That was spicy. But look, I've saved. Your graveyard is safe now, ma'am. What is this? My lady, a monster has defiled one of the tombs, laid waste to sacred graves. Bones litter the floor, and treasures enough to fill our coffers. A war is on, your grace. Surely the dead have no need for it, right? No further desecration shall befall this place, that the treasures seal the tomb. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Plus, finally, neutral morale. Oh, what's over here? Let's go. Congratulations, you can use this avatar border in the Gwent multiplayer card game. Okay, thanks. It gets us a save, at least. Like, if anything, at least it'll, like, auto-save me. Oh, there's so much. Eliminate all drowners. Do not let any allies die. Hint, it takes just 1 damage to turn an even into an odd. What? Hello? Can I?
Arbalist to your command.
That's it.
Armor won't save.
God, okay. Okay. So they can't attack me now. I don't know how to just eliminate all of them, though. Right, until I deal a damage, but ideally... This is what would happen.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
So now this will do 3 damage to everyone. Ah! Okay. Alright. Okay. Son. Damned collectors stopped by Hawksburn again, and once again we survived by the skin of our teeth, so our beloved queen can import yet another Zerrikanian rug. Devils take her, I say. I'm trying to be nice. Gather anything of worth in the cottage and wrap it in greased sheepskin. Take it to the field and among the sheeps bury it. These cursed collectors will just have to make do with what pins we give them. A field, and then by a thing, there's treasure. Where, what field? This field? Maybe. Let's see. How do I get over there? Can I just go up this way? Okay. Is it this field? Yeah, it is. Excuse me. Fine chicken. I wish to shovel. Yeah. Cool. 150.
Good folk, the Queen's returned. Welcome her we must. Tribute in hand.
Thank you. Wow, thank you so much for your tribute. Oh, a fine tribute, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, I don't think I can go further that way, so let's go here. To the wedding! There's random people I don't know.
Meve's ear suddenly caught brisk music and voices raised in song. She had no doubt. A wedding ceremony had just begun in a hamlet just off the high road. When the bride's father spotted the royal retinue, he rushed up to beg the queen to bless the newlyweds. Meve obliged cordially.
Absolutely.
Encouraged, the father boldly invited Meve and her court to join in the festivities.
You do us a right honour, my lady. And your men would bolster their strength afore to march ahead. We beg ye, eat, drink and rejoice with us.
Yeah.
I haven't slippers to dance in, but I trust I'll manage somehow. Lead on, good man.
The nuptials took place in the shade of a vast oak tree. Then the newlyweds and their guests walked in procession to a barn adorned with flowers. An uproarious celebration ensued. As she watched her soldiers dance shoulder to shoulder with peasants, Meve felt a surge of pride at being their queen. The heart of Lyria. It beat most powerfully here, not in the gilded halls of palaces. Suddenly a cry went up as strange armed men rushed into the yard.
There's the lass! Grab her!
Whoa.
Before anyone could stop them, the bandits took the bride and fled into the woods.
Not the bride.
The drums and fiddles, suddenly silenced, were now replaced by weeping, moaning, angry calls for pursuit. Deep grief upon his face, the host turned to Meve with a plea.
Milady, we beg of you, help us!
We'll not leave you wanting, good man.
Shouted the queen, slipping her feet into her stirrups.
Follow me! Yeah!
The earth trembled beneath the weight of horse and hoof. Tankards laid out for a midnight toast to the bride and groom clinked prematurely in the quake, and the Lyrians charged forth into the dark wood.
Okay. Where are we to go? This way? Must be. Just going back over. Anything down here? Your Majesty, fishermen dragged out an odd object from the Yavina. They claim it emits a magical aura of sorts. As it's of no use to them, they're willing to part with it for a modest sum. So... yeah, I have some coin. I get a card frag. Heckin' absolutely. Can I go down here? No. Okay, so we're gonna go help out these people. Oh, hey, look, some more loot. I love just taking people's stuff they leave on the side of the road. Oh, here they are. I have good morale.
Though the Lyrian cavalrymen had imbibed spirits throughout the night, they not only managed to stay upright in their saddles, but even gained on the bandits and cut off any chance of escape.
Okay, that's good, I guess. Let's go. Prevent the bandit abductor from reaching the right side of the row. Right side of the row. I'm just gonna keep those cards.
Stop them!
Dealing with you, so I have to. I think I have to kill this thing before all of these. So every turn, on turn start, move one place to the right. Whenever this unit takes damage, move one place to the left. If this unit moves to the rightmost side of the road, Meve is defeated. Okay. Okay. So we need to just constantly do damage to this thing. So let's go ahead and just...
The chase is on!
What do we got? We got the crushing trap. Set the card of each unit on this route, the average.
Give me a time.
That. Oh, I got shit.
Oh!
I think just gonna stay marked. What do I do well, it's fine. Okay, loyal, damage a random enemy nearest to self by 2. Okay. I fear that this thing is just gonna have a rough go of it. Go ahead and toss
There's
that.
a time to reap, a time to sow,
And
and a
then
time to die.
boost that. Okay. Wow. Ouch. Okay. 8 plus ability.
Armor wars.
I think if we go, oh, I could have added that. I think if we go next one.
Yeah, yeah! We have them, Your Majesty!
Hey, I got an achievement. All present and
Meve's
accounted
troops
for.
defeated the bandits and rescued the
Ooh,
bride,
we rescued the bride.
only to be surprised. For the maiden fair dropped to her knees and burst into tears of sorrow, not joy.
Weep not, child.
The queen said, placing her arm upon her shoulder.
It's over. You're free.
Nay, Not so, your majesty. Milady, I've no love for Jan. No wish to wed him. It's my father. My family forced me. My heart's Fimbers. He arranged the masquerade. I beg ye, if you've
right,
1
the
ounce of
letter we
kindness,
found.
if you've a heart, let us leave this place together and free.
Forgot about that letter.
This scheme you've pursued, I can't condone. Folk have been wounded. Some might have died.
Said the Queen.
Yet, equally, I cannot let others force you to marry.
So, may we go, your grace?
You may.
And I'll just
Fast as your
go
legs
back
will
to town
carry
and
you,
be like,
afore I've a change of
"Sorry."
heart.
Oh god. Ooh. Card.
Though none dared utter a word of chagrin, Meve sensed her subjects' bitter gazes upon her. At the first light of the morn she left, without so much as a nod goodbye.
That's fine. That's fine. Look. We found the letter. We found, like, proof of that. So, like, it's, you know what? It's fine. I think I'm gonna call it here before we get deep into, like, the story stuff. We've won our battles. We let lovers flee. We hanged people. But we have good morale. We're leaving it with some good morale. Yeah. Alright, this is definitely where I'm gonna leave it. It's saving. This is good. Alrighty. Good first start here. Let's look at these achievements that I got. I have finished the tutorial, fair enough, and win a non-puzzle battle without any of your units being killed. Fair enough. Fair enough. There are a lot of achievements. There are 39 achievements. I'm also curious how long this game is. Let's see. How long is Thronebreaker? Looks like average for main story is about 28 hours. If you do the main story plus like all the extras, it's a good 36 hours. So we've got a lot of content ahead of us, which is very exciting. Yeah, all right, we've got weeks of Witcher Wednesday ahead of us, and this one I'm definitely vibing with a lot more than the older Witcher games, which makes sense. So I don't see myself, quitting out on this. I'm enjoying this. It's a good change of pace to the Witcher stuff, but like in a good way. Still got, it's still the universe, but it has the interesting Gwent-y aspect to it. I'm enjoying it. It's good, it's good, it's good. Have a wonderful night. I will catch you later. Bye!